Hi everyone, you're doing a great job so far with these lessons. So just a quick friendly reminder, you need your STEM notebook or loose leaf paper to take notes, your pencil, your Envision workbook page. Today we're going to be skipping to the chapter 10 packet, so be ready. And then of course a positive learning attitude. The reason why we're skipping around is because topic 9 and topic 10 are very interrelated. What that means is that we could do them in order, but because some of the skills connect directly, we're actually going to move on to 10-1 today instead. Today's lesson is 10-1, division as repeated subtraction. You already know that addition and multiplication connect. If I repeatedly add over and over and over, that's the same thing as multiplication. So for instance, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, you know that's the same as saying 4 groups of 3. The same is true for division. Division connects directly to subtraction. If I repeatedly subtract over and over and over, it's the same as doing division. For instance, if I start with 16 and I repeatedly subtract 4, that's the same as saying 16 divided by 4 equals 4. I repeatedly subtracted 4 groups of 4. You can see here are the 4 groups of 4 that I subtracted. Let's expand our knowledge a little bit further. For instance, if I have 20 divided by 5, that's the same as saying 20 minus 5 repeatedly until I get to 0. So you'll notice I continually subtract 5 over and over and over. Once I get to 0, I can count how many times did I repeatedly subtract 5. In this example, I subtracted 5 4 times, so 20 divided by 5 equals 4. Here's another example. Let's say I have 36 divided by 9. If I take 36 and I repeatedly subtract 9, when I get to 0, I'll know what my quotient is. So in this example, I subtracted 9 4 times, so 36 divided by 9 equals 4. You can also use number lines to help you. On your notes, draw a number line. With fractions and decimals, you're used to putting a 0 here and a 1 here. However, we're going to be focused on whole numbers. So instead, I'm going to make a number line. That's between 0 and 20. Let's say I would like to solve the problem 18 divided by 6. I'm going to start at 18, which on my number line is right here, and I'm going to move to the left by 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I end up here. 18 minus 6 is 12. I'm at the 12 tick mark. I'm going to repeat that again. 12 minus 6 is 6, and 6 minus 6 is 0. Notice I subtracted 6 1, 2, 3 times, so 18 divided by 6 is 3. I can do this with any number, and you'll actually see in future lessons it also allows you to visualize remainders. Try this example on your own, and then play the video to see if you got the correct quotient. On your number line, try 14 divided by 2. I'm going to repeatedly subtract 2 until I get to 0. So there's minus 2, minus 2. I repeat this all the way until I get to 0. So I did minus 2, minus 2, minus 2, minus 2. You'll notice sometimes in the videos that my stylus pen sometimes does not write very clearly. If ever that's the case, you can always email me to ask questions about the video. Let's go back to what we were saying here. I repeatedly subtracted 2 from 14 7 times. There we go. So 14 divided by 2 equals 7. This strategy can also be used with word problems. Let's take a look at this problem together. It says a bag of dog food holds 54 cups of food. If a shelter feeds all of its dogs 9 cups of food per day, how many days will one bag last? So we have 54 cups of food, and there are 9 cups of food per day. How many days will one bag last? So I'm going to start with 54, and I'm going to repeatedly subtract 9. As you're repeatedly subtracting, you should start to notice a pattern with some of the smaller quotients. For instance, I'm noticing that as I subtract 9 from each of these numbers, all of these smaller quotients are a part of the 9's fact families. This also connects to what we learned about multiples in our fractions unit. So let's take a look. I subtracted 9 6 times. So that tells me 54 cups in one bag divided by 9 cups per day means that that bag will last for 6 days. Remember, your label is also a very important part of your word problem. We could also use a number line to help us with this strategy. I would first start out by drawing my number line. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a strategy to help you solve. So I'm going to start with 0 and 60. This would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. As you get better at number lines, you don't need to worry about doing every single tick mark. You'd be able to estimate. So I would start with 54. 54 is about here. I would subtract 9, so it's about here. Then I would subtract 9, it's about here. Subtract 9 again, about here. Subtract 9 again, and continue to go until I get to 0. So I used a bit of mental math. So I started at 54 over here. I knew that it was 45, 36, 27, 18, 9, and then 0. So 54 divided by 9 equals 6. In other words, I subtracted 9 6 times. Notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If in a problem it did not get to 0, that would mean you have a remainder. We're going to learn about remainders in upcoming lessons. For right now, you can remember this word and you will learn about it in a little greater depth in a future lesson. Remember, as you are practicing and learning this strategy, you can always go back and re-watch the video. During this lesson, when you're practicing, if you want to use other strategies to help you, you may. And Mr. Grow has another joke for you.
Hey guys, why does Miss Garreau wear sunglasses? Because her class is so bright.
All right, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.